Beloved soul family, Geeia Ariati. I am the assigned oracle for the 144 and beyond. I am of sound heart and sound mind. And I have been directed to come on and express to you some of that which is about to unfold. Although there is a future forecast and a prediction that is in preparation for the next 2 to 3 months, that we are moving through some very strong completion cycles in relation to the next steps of our evolution and what is being created in our reality. And there is a magical point that I'm being called to bring forth to the awareness in preparation for this longer energetic reading transmission that will, I promise, come. That, like most of those that are anchoring in the Christos, are moving through some of the advancements in distortion technology that have been placed within their energy field. From the very point of the Anunnaki creation or from the Sumerian, Lemurian points of time. And so I myself am moving through an aspect of separation consciousness that is in the physical vessel, that of the AI intelligence that requires to be dismantled before I can fully bring forth this channel. And this information that is of extreme importance for what to expect in the coming times. And it is important for me to make sure I'm clean and clear in exactly giving you the dates that are predicted. But the dates that are important for you to know now, if you have not seen my invite to the Lionsgate portal, this is an event of a lifetime. I don't say that lightly. I've been told that. This is my third time in my life incarnation that I've received that, and the other times that I've received that message, it very well has been the event or the opportunity of a lifetime. And that is something that's very powerful, and I'm being prepared strongly with the anchoring of my own Christos coding for this. So it's a Lionsgate portal event, which is actually on the 8/8. But the date that is important for you to know is actually the 11th of the 8th. Now, this is based on the mutations of the calendars, and that there was a specific date that was chosen by the bringers of change and by the second coming of Christ. So, not everyone in the bringers of change is a second coming of Christ representative. It doesn't mean that your role is any less important than anyone else's. It is that the information that you hold within your cells is just different. Some of us are here to be specific carriers of specific energy frequencies, and we hold different technologies and different information. But the second coming is predicted to happen. Um, and this is if the timeline is not accelerated on the 11th of the 8th. There has already been acceleration points, and there are different waves that are already taking place. And the anchoring of that may not take place on that day, but it will be a mass remembrance process and in the lead up for that. But what that means, why I'm sharing and what I'm sharing for, and if you're called to the Lionsgate event before I detour off into a different frame and thread of consciousness, is that there is 108 places for this special event. The intention of this event is that the individuals that hold Christ codes or that are here to be anchors, that are resonating at their soul's truth, or any other being that would like to be of contribution or to awaken to something that would allow for them to find more ease and grace and truth and oneness in themselves, is invited into this space. The reason that it is at 108 is based on the numbers, it is based on the time zone, it is based on the geometric patterning and the grids that are going to be created. and the information that's going to be anchored into each individual, but also into the collective consciousness as a whole. So it's very specifically created using numerology, using geometric patterns, using light technology, and also as a pillar of a Christos representative, calling in and channeling that very high frequency of information to be brought through this very transformative experience. So, if you are interested, it is a donation based and it will be provided on Zoom. So, there is an opportunity for anyone who's feeling resonance for that, and it will be cut off at 108 with no replay. Now, what is important to share here is that what you are going to start to see is magic in form, miracles in form, because individuals that are holding this level of frequency, whether it be Christos energy or whether it is an angelic expression of an integrated seraphim dragon or someone who holds Elohim coding, when you are going up beyond the 12th dimensional plane of consciousness and you're anchoring that unified self into form, what happens is time and space dissolve. And the separation point between form and source is that of a instant receivership. And so when you have someone who has the ability and the capacity to no longer have a separation point between themselves, they can share that in the remembrance of that with an individual. So what that means is that basically the separation point that I have is that I have a beautiful technology that I created back in Lemuria, and I will share about that at another point in time. um, the separation point is very specifically there is to ensure that there is a suppression on the being that siphons chi, and doesn't allow for the essence of an organic vessel to be created. Now, what that means is that any AI or anything that still remains in the three-dimensional construct, so the 3D body is a representative of an AI program, whereas the 5D vessel is an organic expression of consciousness. And so the three-dimensional body, and for every single being on this planet that has a three-dimensional body, is integrated with that of AI technology. And you are ran by programs and subliminal expressions of consciousness. You have been chipped, and the layers of that which are sitting within the organic matter that you hold is. Got many layers of information there. So what that does is that there's a separation point from being able to hold source. So a three-dimensional body cannot anchor in a direct source consciousness expression. The body has to go into the transition of holding a crystalline structure of a fifth dimensional blueprint and releasing any of the infiltration that has made its way into the cellular structure or the molecular structure of the vessel. And that is for many of us that have been carrying specific technologies to reverse engineer them. So, when we have accidental oopsie moments through history, we go back and we take accountability and we reverse engineer them. Now, if you're anyone like me, you've carried a lot of your own oopsie moments as a self punishment program to ensure that you are lining up to God's source creator and ensuring that you are reconciling the Earth's history and coming into the truth of what you originally came to be here for, which is a creator being of the law of one and to be a teacher of that sacred wisdom and teachings. Now, whatever your individual role was, if there is any karmic footprint from the beginning of creation that is to be reconciled by you, you're encouraged to do it before the 11th of the 8th. This is the completion point of the 42,000 year cycle. That 42,000 year cycle is from the point of where the Anunnaki came into the decision of council to create the earth. So the very beginning creation point of the earth. This was before there was actually a physical physical representation of the earth reality. So that's where I get that number from. That's where that number exists. It is an evolutionary cycle because it is the point of creation of this reality. So what is taking place is because so many of us have been reverse engineering our psyche and taking accountability, reconciling the distortions, fixing the collective light body, working with the earth grids, and allowing for new consciousness streams to be brought in and new synapses points for you to remember. So as you speak, as you receive my speaking and I speak to you, you look at me, you feel me, you receive me, you're receiving that of every information point that I have ever received as an opportunity for you to also access that. So it is not just a communication line. I'm telepathically communicating to you. My cellular memory is communicating to you. Our hearts are in resonance together that are communicating. And this is where you are able to receive from me without even having a session from me, because you're choosing to come into mind heart coherence with me in union right now. So anything that you are ready for or desiring can start to activate and move through your energy field. What does that mean when you have a being that is almost about to, almost about to anchor her Christ energy? That means there's no separation point between her and Christ or that level of frequency, which means you can become Christ-like. What does that mean when it comes to healing and changing and creating? That means miracles start to occur on the earth. That means that when you touch someone, you can instantaneously heal them. That means you can start to change the molecular structure where there is a physical resonance of that change. So you are able to actually see the molecules shifting and changing. This is where ascended mastery starts. This is where you start to see the superhuman abilities come to the human experience. Now, this is only one level of ascension. Or that of attainment of source in form. Christos energy is actually an energy, and we can use Yeshua as an example. We can use his teachings of the law of one, which have been mutated. Dayata Kariyasha Tugueriana. Thank you to the patriarchy. I love you for all that you have taught us. Maya Kariyata Tekiariata Tekianai. Ooh, especially to the beautiful Enki. Mayande Anaya Seriasha Tekiana. I'm not sure why I had to do that, but there is a reason. Mayande Anaya Kiarianaya Tuena. So, in relation to the lore of one teachings, Christ energy is not of the full embodiment of a god, goddess in form. That is a higher frequency in full in full embodiment, in incarnation expression. And so Christ is step one into the physical. So if you look at history, Christ is actually a level of being a step down in vibrational frequency to that of the ancient Egyptian days and the level of working with matter, because there is different timeline structures. So when we go into the different timelines, we have Lemuria. And Lemurian timeline was a seventh dimensional reality. You go to Atlantis and it was a ninth dimensional reality. You go to Egypt and it was a seventh dimensional reality. You go to the Assyrian times and it was shifting from the seventh into the fifth, and the Roman timeline was the fifth dimensional, where you step out of the ability to actually see magic in form. And these different history points, these different abilities, these different ways of using consciousness meant we had different vessels, we had different expressions, and we had different abilities that could be seen in our physical separation reality. Because every single time that you look at one of these ancient timelines, is that they had a physical separation point. A god and a goddess was still a god and a goddess in form. They knew God, but they were in physical separation. So anywhere that you believe that you cannot return to oneness while you're in physical separation, I'd like you to release that now. That would be great for you and for all beings. Mayata kariyasha tekiariata tekiandianai. Maasete taiki kaya rata ukuende. Good job. All right. So, in relation to this, the Christ energy is a step one into ascended mastery. That's where you get to start to bend the universal laws. You got to start to use the point of no separation to move matter, to move light. Matter is not really what we perceive it to be, it is light with a lack of brightness or information. And so when you start to understand that matter is just a form of light and you release that concept that you cannot change it or remove it or move it, that's when you start to see these physical instantaneous healings or things like changing your physical vessel. So, wow. Okay. So we're making a bold statement public in a live arena. I love this. Thank you, Source. You're so hilarious. So, in that, being that of a representative of a reminder of that of which you are as a teacher of the law of one, what you'll start to see within my journey is the shifting of my physical appearance because my body is moving from what it is has been known from the personality construct of that which was Danielle Butler to the energy signature of that of my essence, Geeia Ariati, that holds the octave and the frequency that needs new formation and matter to be able to hold the Christos, as well as represent the goddess in form. And so the vessel or the body that is currently being shown to you is that of a in-between stage between that of what I was born into this reality as and that of which my true representation would be in the realization of allowing my physical matter to start to align to that. Now, the physical matter and the ability to heal instantaneously becomes challenging on the resistance points. So once we release all resistance points and we come into the Christos, that's when the miracles occur. Now, you will see and witness these miracles occurring apparently as I show you different aspects. I'm not sure I'm going to claim instantaneous transformation and shape shifting, just saying. So we're going to be very clear about what I'm claiming. Instantaneous healing can be that of looking at gum disease and choosing to instantaneously heal the molecular structure of the core fragmentation point, so that you look at whatever that disease is, and that core expression that created it then can be met in one moment with either light of source or with the representation of recognition of what that fragmentation was and infusing it with the connection point of the opposing energy. That allows for instantaneous transformation. Why am I sharing all of this? Because there is an importance for all, not just those that are choosing the Christ energy. The importance is that as as one individual chooses this level of ascended mastery or to step into their true expression beyond the pain and suffering story, the entrapment programs over the collective whole or over the earth shift. Now, this means that you will see miracles and you will also see their polarizing and opposite expression. And so, where the miracles are being occurred, maybe they're in your local spiritual communities, maybe they're in profound insights of remembrance, maybe they're in that you're gifted a large sum of money to assist you in your purpose, maybe they're in that you line yourself up to the perfect person that sees you and then is able to open the doorway for you to share your medicine and magic in a mass audience. Maybe it's that you heal yourself from cancer. Maybe it is that the separation point within your family dynamic all of a sudden transforms with and does a 360 and looks completely different. These are the shifts of consciousness that will occur for more connection, that being connection of source, life, chi, God, or their opposing aspect, which will be more separation. And this is where we bring up the information and the interpretation of the two reality or the dual reality, the shift of consciousness where you're going to have two different realms. This is already here. Now, I heard this beautiful representation, which I'm going to share and give, that made it very tangibly digestible to the human mind, which is you go to a town and you have one town that may be a lower socioeconomic town. There's poverty there, maybe there's addiction, maybe there's domestic violence, maybe there's an aspect of that 9 to 5 or 12-hour working experience, right? That energy is through the land, that energy is through the collective consciousness of that town. Now, you might move over only a couple of suburbs or towns across and it's on the beach, and you have a point of ascension or a higher vibrational portal of consciousness where individuals are in a bit more free flow. They take life in relaxing. They don't drink as much. They don't have as many substances. They're like, life just is. I just do what I want. Right? That creates a specific portal of consciousness. That's a different reality. That's a different experience. And then you might go into the places of these more city expressions, and you've got the mainstream we'll say the social media conditioned experience of what we're creating in relation to I want to say real life Bobby and Ken. um, and that is a different dimensional reality. Now, that's already very much here. This is the extreme split of that. This is what happens when you have enough individual beings that have chosen a different story, and then enough individual beings that are not jumping on the wave. There has to be a counterbalance. This is reality. This is this reality. Everything is in balance always. Now, I want you to hear that again. Everything is in balance always. So when you think there is something out of balance in your reality, look for the balance point. Where the balance point is where you are seeing yourself through the distorted lens. When you can see this, then you can look at where it would be more imbalance in your internal. So if you're out of balance, something in your external is in balance to counterbalance balance and bring in that unification energy. Now, if you don't want to play the out of balance energy, you don't want to play the distortion, and someone else is playing the connection, then choose that in your inner reality. And so, what happens is because so many of us are choosing this unified inner source connection, is that there's a wave of us choosing unity. There's a wave of us choosing the new earth. There's a wave of us choosing awakening. There's a wave of us choosing to break down the constructs of this current matrix. And there is that counterbalance to that. Now, that is where the two worlds exist. This is where you have a shift into fifth dimensional and going into seventh dimensional expressions of consciousness. So I'd also like you to release any ideas that we're moving into 5D because you're placing a limitation on where we're actually going. Mayanda yata karia shatakai ande aki anaya ukori ataki ande anai bosoto kore taishe te. Beautiful. Thank you. And then you can realize that we are not anchoring in anything other than God source creator, which means that we are not bound by limitations. And so these ideas of dimensional realities, these ideas of where we're going, if we really want to bring in the heaven on earth, then we need to break down those constructs and those ideas that we've created as narratives as well. But what you will see as we are moving from this anchoring in the fifth dimensional and the seventh, going into the seventh dimensional expression and beyond through time space, whatever that is for us as individuals, you will see that this is going to create a drastic split. So the miracles, you're going to see miracles in these pockets because we're choosing each other. So the idea of seeing ourselves through the lens of contrast is shifting that balance point where two unified beings are choosing balance together instead of one playing the out of balance or the yin and one's playing the yang. That is no longer what is being chosen by the bringers of change. We are choosing a new concept. We are transcending polarity. We are seeing that I actually don't have to be yin and you don't have to be yang to see union. I can choose union and create from union. And that shifts the entire experience from that which we have been conditioned to believe in this entire earth experience of separation. And so the those that are not willing to give up that concept, those that are not willing to let go of the idea of I am masculine and you are feminine, I am light and you are dark, this is right and this is wrong, this is up and this is down, this is in and this is out, right? All of these concepts, that there is going to be a balance point because effectively the ones that are in the light of information are in control. That's empowering, isn't it? The light of information is control. Now, release the idea that control is bad. Good job. Because control is not bad, nor is it good. It just is. And you can control your reality by recognizing that you are choosing unity, and that by having more information, consciousness, and awareness, that you have the upper hand. And so the upper hand is the point of playing into where the lower hand or the balance point to this light to balance out this reality is then going to descend into its polarizing energetic expression. So, as there are high lenses of information, there is also going to be lenses of severe separation or lack of information. That is further descension into unconsciousness. This is where your realities are going to split. So you'll see miracles, and you are going to see some extreme, severe destruction, addiction, domestic violence, death, war, natural disaster. You will see this. This is happening. This is occurring. You are already seeing it. Look around you. The financial system will crash. Political realignment is taking place. Timelines are shifting. The navigational points of different corporate structures, they are dissolving. We are seeing this. It's on our social media platforms. It is not hiding. It's been in the very forefront of your eyes for the last few weeks. Now, this is only going to get more severe. What are you choosing? Are you choosing miracles and magic? Or are you choosing dissension, unconsciousness, and further expressions of control through the lens of darkness? Either way, you will return to source eventually. It's how you do it, right? It's how you do it. How would you like to experience your human experience? Would you like to return to the oneness through that of choosing the unity narrative and the story of ascending into a higher state of consciousness? Or would you like to continue to allow the ego construct and the separation point between these expressions control your next shifts in this next level of the reality that we create as a whole? It's up to you as a sovereign being. As a divine being of God's source creator, you have this choice in every moment. You are that powerful. And so, with that, and the miracle that you are, the miracle that I am, and the miracles that are being created, and that you will start to see, witness, and observe, and also their polarization. Can you allow yourself to stay in the miracle and not get sucked into the polarization? Can you allow yourself to stay in the miracle and the connection point rather than seeing the destruction point all around you? Are you able to stay through that point of God, source, creator, seeing with the eyes of love and loving from afar what people are choosing? Can you hold them in your source frequency? Can you gift them your love by simply being that of the connection to truth and love within yourself? You don't need to do anything. You don't need to change what is taking place. All that is required for you is to choose, what are you choosing in your connection point? What is your intention? What is your focus lens? Where are you going? What are you holding? What are you anchoring? So, in that beautiful expression of a transmission, because my human being is moving through some final expressions of very advanced technology of separation, I would love to come to you in the totality without the fatigue, because this is what separation does. Separation will cause resistance, which causes fatigue, causes a lack of clarity, it causes a heaviness. We are moving through these separation points, so you may temporarily be feeling a sense of fatigue as you're moving in to that point of clarity. But where are you getting stuck? In the separation, which will keep you in the fatigue and in the darkness. If you lean in to the darkness, you can transmute the darkness by bringing the light of information there. Then you see there's no longer a separation point, because you've observed exactly what needed to be observed. In that, I am so grateful to be here as a speaker of truth. I love you. Thank you for receiving this prophetic, energetic reading from the Oracle of the 144, Geeia Ariati. If you enjoyed this transmission, please like, subscribe, and if you would like to support my mission, I am open to receiving all of the abundance to give back in sharing the message of the Law of One to the millions of people that I intend to share the ripple effect to. And I also have a beautiful, exciting announcement that my beautiful, beloved brother, Raya White Wolf, and I will be doing a podcast together. Now, this being is someone that I am excited to share a space to communicate with, because, like myself, very high level, has a lot of awareness, in dimensions, a lot of awareness of the different sacred teachings, a lot of awareness of what is going on, and is a powerful channel and healer. And I would love to allow him to be seen, and to have, he does have one on one offerings and availabilities, and he is a masculine, which is also beautiful. But we will be sharing some high level conversation that both of us have desired to share for a long time, and have been guided to say the world was not ready, but now they are. And we are also ready to share, because we're ready to be seen and to receive whatever uh, hmm, needs to be alchemized into oneness. So stay tuned for that, because it will blow your mind. Uh, and have a beautiful day. I love you.